Hello there, this is the Music Makers at the Keyboard, Book 4, Lesson 55. Let's look at our homework sheet. As always, you are going to warm up in your scales in C, G, D, A, and E major, followed by the arpeggios in 1, 4, 5, 7, 1. I'd like you to do that every day, and then you move on. Our new song is Mouse Mousy. It's an old friend because we've known this song forever. And if you open to page 24, you see that it's written on that page. The first two examples are in the key of F, and we're looking at different ways to articulate this song. The first example is a given way where you see there's legato and staccato combinations, and a second example as well. I'm going to play it for you. Here we go. Legato, staccato. Okay, second example, different variety of using legato and staccato. All right, your job is underneath that in the example 3 to add your own articulation, and then you play it. Here on page 25, you are going to listen to the different bass lines. So the accompaniment in the left hand is changing all the time in these 3 examples. This part is optional. If you're interested and you want to give it a try, I highly recommend you do that. I encourage you. You can share it with me next class. I'm going to play you all 4 examples. Here's 4. Here's example 5. Example 6. Good. Next, I'd like you to go to page 21. We have finished page 20. If you haven't, please finish this composition. Page 21 is a composition that uses all 3 chords that are known to us, 1, 4, and 5, 7. You see here's the 1 chord, the 4 chord, 5, 7, and the 1 chord. And I'd like you to write in a melody that has these 3 pitches. Okay? So the rhythm is do, day, do, day, do, day, do, do. It could sound something like, I'd like you to use chord tones in the right hand, because we were in the 1 chord, so you're going to use a combination of these 3 notes. That would be 1. Now I'm going to 4 chord. That could be, and now I'm going down below. Do, day, do, do. Okay, you can try that first without writing anything. Just be on the piano, try out some different melodies that fit that rhythm. If you like it, you can mark it in there. Next, review of improvisation, 6 and 7. We did that last week, where you're doing a improvisation using melody tones, answering in the same chord. So one chord would be, you're sharing the melody in both hands. Duple meter, do, do, day, do, 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 day, do, day, do, do. Okay, or you can go back and forth. Do, 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 for example. Do, do, day, do, 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 day, do, day, do, 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 day, do, day, do, do, day, do, day, do, 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 something like that. That is the review. Now we're going to review page 14 and 15, the root position. So let me explain this one more time. Every scale, also we call every scale has a scale number. Each note has a number. So this one is the scale number 1, scale number 2, 3, 4. We also talk about degree. This will be the 5th scale degree. 6 and 7. There's 7 because that one is the same as that one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. So if we're talking about the 1 chord, obviously, that's our 1 chord, where the lowest note is the bass. Do, mi, so, 1 chord. Okay. So then we're building our next chord on the next scale degree, which is 4, that's F. And so we're building our chord now on the F. Okay, and the scale, the 4th note is our base of the chord. So because F is our 4th scale degree, to play that chord in the term that we call root position, that scale note has to be the bass. Therefore, we call that root position. Up until now, the children have played the 4 chord, but it looked like this and sounded like this. This is the 4 chord as well, but not in root position. Why? Because C is played here in the bass. So what I did is, this C up here from the F chord was moved down here, making it a different sound, but it's also a 4 chord, just not in root position. Why did we do that? Well, simply because it's much easier to shift from 1 to 4. It has more fluency. The transition is easier versus to hop from here to there. Okay, that's why I taught the 4 chord in this way. The next one is the 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That gives us the G. Now the G has to be in the bass because we're talking G root position, 5 root position, 5 chord. Now that is a brand new chord. It is not our 5/7 chord. The exercise sounds like this. Do, mi, so, mi, fa, la, do, la, so, ti, re, ti, do, mi, so, mi, do. Bottom, do, mi. All right, and then we go to page 15. We're doing the same thing. The only difference is we are changing into a different key. So we are in the key of D. So we have to remember that it has 2 sharps. So here's our D, 1st scale degree. Do, mi, so, mi. And then G, 4 chord root position. Fa, la, do, la. Then we're moving up 1 to 5. This is so, ti, re, ti. back to 1. It all sounds the same. It's just we're singing and playing it in a different key. Please, if you haven't finished page 15, please do that for next week. So then, besides that, we have one new thing on page 26. In the meantime, I'd like the children to review at least 2 songs each day. And so they're able to share them in class next week. And if they have gotten bored with, well, I'm just looking. No, they're all are pretty much sight reading songs. They can obviously play also the by ear pieces, Billaboo, Sum Sum Sum. We've done up until now, and change up the keys, play it in different keys. Now we're going to look at our new Grand Staff game and homework assignment for writing. So what we're doing here is page 26, and we took a lot of time in class to look at this Grand Staff. And first of all, I had the children recognize and circle all the C's they can find. So starting right here in the bass clef. Second right here, that's our very famous middle C. Then we have the treble C right here. And so they found that those are kind of guideposts for them to be able to recognize note names. This is progress. It'll take some time for them to recognize each note, but since they've gotten the guideposts, now they can go by then and then go to the next step, which would be D. Now this is also a pretty familiar note they've seen for a long time, the D in the treble clef and so forth. So it's just going one step up after the other, going all the way up to the high G, and then we also starting down here at the low G in the bass, going to bass C, all the way up to middle C. That middle C is between those 2 staffs. There's only one imaginative ledger line between those 2 staffs, even though it looks like you could add more to it, but there's actually just one. It's just always has more space, so we can add more notes in there. So let's go down here. That is the writing assignment. So what they can do is, here's a little example. That is the key of C. Do, mi, so, mi, do. And they're supposed to write in the letter names now. Okay, they can just go and peek over here. It's giving to them G, E, C, so, mi, so, do. Nothing really new here. Same in the bass. Do, re, mi, fa, so, do, so, fa, mi, re, do, mi, so, do. All right. And I believe 27 is next week. Yes. So I'd like them to finish that one. And then we're going to go get our game out. I